such dreams are coming true. Together, we give children a chance to set their sights high and succeed in school and in life by ensuring that they have access to healthcare, education, life skills, and so much more so they can grow, thrive, and believe in themselves. Learn more about Children International and join us in our life-changing work at children.org today. Together, we can help end poverty for good.
Des Moines Con returns to the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall May 30th through June 1st. Des Moines Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Des Moines Con is bigger and better than ever before with guests like Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, also from Daredevil, Full Metal Jacket, Law & Order, Saturday Only, plus other great guests from voice actors to authors over the entire weekend. 3 days of action-packed fun at the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets start at $60. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at DesMoinesCon.com. And don't forget, Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo and Twin Cities Con are coming up this year too. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to NerdStreetUSA.com for more information.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 46, Saturday cloudy with a high near 57, and Sunday sunny with a high around 64. Mavericks Real Roast Beef in Roseville sets the standard for savory satisfaction. Experience the perfection of their Philly steak, turkey bacon, avocado, and more. Elevate your meal with freshly fried fries or onion rings. Visit mavericksbeef.com or visit them off Lexington and Roseville. Mavericks Real Roast Beef. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me. It is Friday, Casual Friday. I hope everybody had a great week. I'm going to be very honest. My Friday today was really anything but casual, but made it through it, and you know, it worked out well. It was a very it was just a very busy day, and I've been up and, you know, doing a radio show. I can share with you my woes, right? And whether you want to hear them or not, that's not my problem. I was up since 4 this morning, and we had a big project that we worked on, and that was great. And then after that, I had to pre-record an episode for this Tuesday, it's very good. It's, if anyone remembers hearing about Vampira, and Vampira was in Plan 9 from Outer Space. This is an episode devoted to her that I interviewed her niece today. Fantastic. And then we did this show, and I took a little bit of a nap today. But it's incredible. Then we have a big event this weekend, which we'll talk about in a second. Meanwhile, over in Eden Prairie, Adam is trying to hold things together over at the AM 950 studios. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. We've got some rain going on. I believe we have a screen door on this submarine here, so I've been trying to paddle out water for the last hour or so. Other than that, not too bad.
It's a losing battle. You're sinking. Just
really
you're just sinking. So here's the thing. Yesterday, before the storm system came through, the feeling outside was very palpable, wasn't it? It's just like this is that it to me it was more intense of a feeling like we're going to get something massive, more so than that scare we had a couple weeks back. That's how I felt about it, at least.
It did, because so I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag. I let my daughter play hooky from school yesterday, and we hung out at the Eden Prairie Center pretty much all day long. We got there about 12:30, and both Morgan and I, when we got out of the car, we're just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of glad we're inside of a mall and not at the house today. This feels funky.
Yeah.
And then while we were in there, I guess they didn't come through on my phone, but I guess in Edina, there was a tornado warning, like a, what is that? A radar indicated funnel.
Yeah.
In Edina yesterday. My wife's telling me all about it yesterday evening. It's like, no, kid and I were just mall ratting in Eden Prairie Center. We had nothing.
Wow.
We knew nothing about it.
It was and then there is a tornado touchdown near New Richmond yesterday.
Ooh, I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah. There's some good video on that. I don't know level of destruction or anything like that. Hopefully not. But it was there, and I have friends that are on New Richmond, so I'm hoping everyone was safe out there. But that was something, and now we're back to March basically.
Yeah. I think I put the jeans away a little too early. I just got my jorts out, and I'm questioning my decision come tomorrow because the high is only supposed to be like 51.
Yeah, no, it's that's just it. I put on my hoodie, my usual hoodie, because like, well, hello, old friend. I thought that we were done for the season, but come on back. Yeah, no, it's just like, oh, and the temperatures look very low for the entire week. So, typical Minnesota, 1 week we're in the 90s, next week we're in the upper 50s, low 60s, and welcome to Minnesota. That's kind of how we roll.
If you don't like the weather, stick around a week, it'll change.
Yeah, right, exactly. If you're like, no snow, it's like, hey, snow can get into as late as June around here. So just hold on. Nothing is promised. So plenty of time for that. So.
And we were all bummed out when Prince said sometimes it snows in April. Well, sometimes it snows in June too.
Sometimes it snows in June, and that's just how it goes. So tomorrow I am going to cough, and then I am going to be over at the Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair with Maria Shaw's Minnesota Convention. That's tomorrow. Doubletree by Hilton Airport Hotel. That's 2020 American Boulevard, Minnesota. $5 to get in, if I'm not mistaken. And there's all sorts of wonderful practitioners that are going to be there tomorrow. Honestly, this is going to be fun. I haven't been to the last few. We all know that. But I am really looking forward to seeing some old friends as the practitioners and some new friends. And I will be emceeing the meet and greet with practitioners. That's at 9:15 in the morning. And basically all that is we're going to be talking about special offers that is going to be at the fair. Shar had found out really that it's a great idea to get everyone together so that they can talk about what they do. And as a crowd that shows up, so they kind of know when the fair starts, oh, I want to try this. This is what this person does. And that's what this person does. And they make all of their fees very reasonable so that you can go around and you can try different practitioners. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am very much looking forward to that tomorrow. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And as much as we all want warm weather, I think this is great weather to come on out to the Charvinity Fair, because you don't want to be outside. Go and get a healing. That's what I say. Come on, you want to do that. So
everyone wants to do that, and that's this Saturday, right?
That's also known as tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So this one you're emceeing, but you've also got your table there.
I got my table. Yeah. That's
Anything special lined up otherwise, or
well, I'm going to be sitting at it. So there's that. That's going to be kind of fun, and hopefully we'll be talking to people about the show and your paranormal experiences. That's the thing. You got to come by, let me know what's happened, and let me know what's paranormal to you. I always love knowing for people what is it that they've experienced and stuff. And you always get that one person who comes up and they come up and they're just like, I'm a skeptic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't believe in really any of this stuff. Oh, okay, no, that's cool. But there was this one time,
and I have my hard time wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, and what they end up telling you is like the holy grail of paranormal. Like well, I saw my house lift up and move over 2 feet and came back down. But that could have just been the wind. I mean, it's just like,
and it landed on a witch, and the shoes came off and everything. I remember a moment like that at Twin Cities Con this past November. There was a gentleman who came up to the table who was like, I don't believe in anything. But one time I was sitting on a plane and looking out the window, and there was this weird silver metallic object in the distance, but it didn't have wings, nor did it have propellers. It was just floating there.
Mm-hmm.
That, you saw a UAP.
Yeah.
What do you mean you've had no experiences, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they'll also tell you after they've had that one, you're like, yeah, but I'm a skeptic. Then I'll be like, and then there was that other time. And it never ends. And it's just like fine, and that's I think that's a sort of a a personality trait that some people are just harder to convince than others, and that's fine. That is totally fine. But it's like, what would it take? I mean, there was a guy that when I was doing the web series and we're at the PNA hall, and he's like, there was in the hall where all the dancing takes place, we were in here by ourselves, and it was just this massive ball of light that was about the size of a volleyball, and it's just floating in the center of the room. And you still don't believe in this stuff? No, not really. Okay, well, you're a tough cookie to crumble. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, that's incredible. Now Courtney is in the comments. She says, you're not showing up on my feed again. I feel like she's blaming us. I feel like she's just like, you're not. I have nothing to do with that. Honestly, I really don't.
Go talk to the lizard people of Meta, and then they will be able to hopefully get you on the feed or add some stars.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you send over some stars, that'll remind you. They'll get me in your face. Courtney's she's like, no, I'm not blaming you. Well, yeah, only because I called you out. But it's like, I don't know how Facebook works, and I mean that. I sincerely mean, I have no idea how it works. I think I could understand witchcraft better than how Facebook operates, because literally every time you want to do something, the buttons have moved. It's like this was laid out differently yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, and then next day it's back to how it was, or a couple days later it's like, what is happening here? Am I in like an alternate dimension? And Facebook, only thing that changed in this dimension is how you post something on Facebook for one day. I mean, I don't get it. I'm so tired of Facebook like that. So I don't know. That's why I'm ineffectual on Facebook. It just, nothing I do really grabs the attention of the listening public. Perhaps, I have no idea. It's what it is, right, Mark?
Yeah. I will never ever understand social media, even though I have to work with it. I'll just do what I know and go from there.
That's the first thing I thought of. Like, I'll never understand. It's like, you are a big part of posting social media for the station. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know how any of this is.
I don't know how it works. I press a couple of buttons and it's magically there. Go technology.
I'm not quite sure that's what you meant to say publicly, but that's what's fine.
I doubt Brett's listening.
Bruce says the algorithms are indecipherable. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's again, I think it's easier to, just for like to do witchcraft or something, trying to get people to see us more than actually Facebook. But I will say the stars they've aligned, if you will, no pun intended, that they you can see that you're getting more interactions. You just see that, and that's nice. And people I've not seen before, and then that's not a slight against the people who have always have supported us. It's just that you always want to try to get more out there because that's the purpose of what we do, But yeah, I'm seeing more, and I'm grateful for it. And it's always something, though, isn't it? It's and the rest of the social media channels too. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Beats me.
Yeah, it feels like there's a new one coming out every few months. So I just kind of stick to Facebook, I guess, a little bit on whatever Twitter's called this month, X, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's usually just a lot of stolen memes from Reddit, which I don't even consider social media. I consider that a glorified BBS board.
It really is. And the thing about at least X doesn't have quite the identity problem as Max does, which is now HBO Max again.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Is this their fourth name change?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It really is, and not in a not very long time. So yeah, it's like figure it out, people. Gosh,
I'm waiting for my app to update, and I'd have to relog back in, and I do not remember that password.
Well, you waiting for your app to update, and you relog in. It's like a totally new name suddenly. Like, when did this happen? I just logged out, and it's now completely a new company. And here's this thing. I'm getting older, folks. I don't, stop changing things on me. I'm gonna start yelling at clouds if you don't stop that. So. Right, Abe. So we have this little thing this week called Question of the Week. Ooh. And the question of the week is, we can tackle it when we get back from break, but this week it's if you could spend the night in any haunted location that you've never been in, where would it be? And I think it's a good question, and people actually responded, so that's a nice sign too. And so we're gonna tackle that when we get back, and you can put your answers in the comments if you so desire. You can also call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. We are in Casual Friday right now, but we're going to take our first break. Come back. Let's do Question of the Week. And everybody, let's just ease into the weekend. You're listening to GhostBox Radio, AM 950.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
It's that time of year again where the weather is getting nice and it's time to get out of the house for some family fun. Lilliput is the perfect place and is open for the season. Be the first to take on their newest escape room, The Bunker. It's intense, exciting, and totally unforgettable. Prefer spooky? Try the Haunted Mansion. When you're done escaping, hit the mini golf course, go-karts, and jump pads. Lilliput is perfect for parties and group events too. Visit lilliput.net for hours and start your spring adventures at Lilliput.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here in GhostBox Radio, as we hopefully will help you all ease into the weekend. I hope that everybody has some fun plans for this weekend, and once again, just to kind of keep it cool with the weather and stuff. It's going to be nice weather. I don't know if it's going to rain or not. I think it's going to actually be kind of windy tomorrow. I was going to say nice weather to walk around in, but maybe not. I'm still looking for a time to grill, and I haven't really had any time for that. And I'm starting to get withdrawals. I can, for a paranormal show, I talk a lot about food, and I am really hungry for a steak. I would really like to have a steak, and if hopefully this weekend I can kind of make that happen, because that sounds really good to me right now, and I'm all for it. I'm all for some steak.
I've already said to myself, Sunday, weather be damned. If it's windy or not, I'm grilling on Sunday.
Yeah.
No matter what, if it's really windy, it's just going to be burgers, because if I overcook them, whatever. But if it's going to be decent, I'm probably going to get something nice. Some steak, or maybe do some salmon. I don't know.
Well, salmon's always good. I was at on Thursday night, because I stayed in St. Paul Thursday night because we started early this morning. And I was over at the Hilton off of 7th Street next to Maharaja's.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't eaten all day. And this has been a reoccurring thing for me, which is really, you might think, oh, that's not so bad. You don't eat all day and you have one meal at the end of the day. No, it's actually not a good thing. But that's, we're all busy, and that's what happened. But went to this restaurant that's in the bar, or in the hotel, excuse me. Boy, that burger, I had a bacon cheeseburger last night. Oh my gosh, that was just incredible. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw your photo on Facebook, and I actually started drooling a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
yeah. Believe me, I felt very Homerish.
Right? And here's the thing. I've been out all week and last week, so I have no food in the house. So like when I'm done here, it's like I'm going to be hungry. I have nothing. And then I have to get up early. So enough of that, right? But yeah. So yeah, something like that, and then a steak or something. Yeah, I'd be down for that. So we'll see how it goes, I guess, and try to get some good food in. And that's the thing too, is when you're busy like this, you don't want to keep going out, because that's no good either, And I mean, going out for me is like always like fast food, and it's just like that takes a toll real fast. So,
Oh yeah, and then you just start feeling ishy.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you especially do like 2 or 3 meals in a row that are fast food because you have to, by that third one, you don't want to see fast food for like a month.
Yeah, I was eating a lot of fast food, and then like I ended up going to Hawaii Poke Bowl. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like fresh. Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't actually consider that fast food.
No, but I mean, it was like I had to go there because it's like nothing else. Like I couldn't do another burger. I couldn't do like greasy fries or anything. Oh.
Mm.
And that's amazing. When I'm saying that, that's a problem, because I do a lot of that as it is. Question of the week this week is, if you could spend the night in any haunted location that you've never been to before, where would it be? Okay. So our good friends over at Facebook, the people who follow our threads and stuff, they put in a lot of answers this week. Adam, why don't we start with you?
Oh, I had 3 of them right off the bat. Eastern State Penitentiary. I've been wanting to go to that place for ever, it feels like, at this point, probably since like 2006, the first time I ever heard of it. So 21 years now I've been wanting to go to Eastern State. Working on this show and hearing the stories from both Ernie and Denise Pack, Fort Duffield has jumped way up on that list of places I want to go to. And then really any castle in the UK. Lep Mansion or Lep Castle, that's probably the one I'd probably want to go to the most. That, and of course the Hellfire Caves.
So the stories that Denise and Ernie Pack told made you want to go to Fort Duffield. The stories that myself and Shar didn't make you want to go to Fort Duffield.
And all of you?
What's that?
Didn't I say Ernie, Denise, and everyone else? But
No, you
okay,
didn't.
well, either way, yes, the stories you and Shar have shared as well, especially the um after the field stories that you have shared.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds amazing because that's where you guys had the fairy story from. And that to me sounds so cool to witness.
Well, and we saw the fairy also in their house at the Ditto house.
Oof.
Because I almost killed it because I thought it was a bug, and it's coming at me, and I'm like, well, it's a bug, therefore I must destroy it. And it's getting closer, and I see it has a body attached to it, and like, ooh, this would not go well for me in my future on Earth if I destroy an elemental or even attempt to,
Yeah,
So
even take a swing at it. Let's not.
yeah, well, it's just suppose Char and I we just all stopped and we're just like watching this very silently fly through, just gracefully. And then where does your wife want to go?
My wife is always Hibachi Forest in Romania.
Yeah.
Her bloodline is from Romania, so there's several places in Romania I know she wants to go to, especially like Dracula's castle. But for sure, Hibachi has been on the top of her list forever.
And funny enough, Christine Marie is said Dracula's castle and the Forbidden Forest in Romania.
Yep, there you go.
There you go. Look at that. Let's see. Brian says there's an old 2-story farmhouse that's over 100 years old near where I live, which no one lives in now, but has no trespassing signs all over the property, has been known to be haunted for decades. Most of the tenants never have lived in the house more than 2 to 3 years. I love that. I love that there's a place that we have places. We all have these like places that are nearby us that we always just wondered what would it be like to go inside one of these places,
Oh yeah, and growing up in farm country, there are so many of those abandoned houses that I wanted to go into, but again, just like in this, no trespassing, everything's locked up. No getting in, especially if you don't want to do a breaking and entering, which I suggest no one do.
No. And that's just it too. I mean, number one rule, out of a lot of number one rules for paranormal investigating is if you don't have permission to go in there, don't do it.
Yeah, treat it like you're a vampire. You've got to be invited in.
Yeah, you really do. And I've talked about before near me in over in Rogers. There's Mary Queen of Peace. There's 2 Mary Queen of Peace churches, but there's one that is a little bit further out and across the street. They had this old school out there, and I had been trying for years to get into there, even just to look around. I mean, the place had just captivated me. I've done spirit box sessions outside there. Right next to it is Old St. Walburga Cemetery, which I've done some stuff there as well. And I've reached out to the church, and they're just like, no pun intended, hell no. And I just never understood. Well, now I can't because they tore it down. They tore it down a number of years ago, and I just like, okay. And I could understand tearing it down because it probably was in much worse shape than it looked, but what a beautiful building. And it truly was from before the 20th century, where, when you're going out to the Rogers area, you are going like deep into like nowhere land in Minnesota at that point. So it's a shame. It really is a shame. And I would have just liked to seen inside it and feel the energy in there, but never would. And doing spirit box sessions around there, we got tons of interaction around there. It's just a shame. Really a bummer.
It is. The architecture inside probably was beautiful too.
Yeah, unless they try to update it over the years and didn't care about that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because like there was an entryway added to it that, everything is like a nice, like almost, I wouldn't say limestone, but it kind of looks like it to me. But then there's an entryway that's just like made out of like white wood. It just clearly was added after the fact. So who knows?
That would be interesting though, doing a church that had a limestone base. I mean, all that energy that would have been trapped in there. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of the stone tape theory, but just, all the emotions, because you have funerals, you have baptisms, you have weddings in that church, just the range of emotion that could have been trapped in that foundation would have been amazing to experience.
Well, and the thing is too, I mean, I've been to a number of times in the UK, a number of churches that are old, and the one I used to stayed at my friend's place up the road in Birmingham. There was a church, and the church was 1,000 years old, and you could just feel the energy. And I'd go and put my hand up on the bricks and stuff, to the point where like clergymen would come up to me and they'd be like, what are you doing? And
you're like, this isn't the Wailing Wall, you fool.
Well, and the thing is like Chris, who doesn't have any real he doesn't hold back anything. Like, he's feeling the energy, mate. Just like don't answer my questions. I'll answer my own questions. Thank you. So yeah, the question of the week, though, folks, if you want to add in, you're more than welcome to. If you could spend the night in any haunted location that you've never been before, where would that be? Savannah says that she likes visiting places, but not overnight, just because won't be able to sleep. And that's the thing, is like, I'm also thinking, if you're going to go to these places, you want to investigate them. So you don't need to sleep. It's hard to sleep in those places. It's really hard to sleep, and especially when the energy is so strong. There's been some places that are just horrible. There's a hotel, I can't think of the name of it, over by Green Bay, that we were at, a bunch of us, and I got there a little bit after everyone else, and they all decided that I needed to be in this room. And you walk in the room, and it just felt like someone was screaming at you to get out.
Oh,
and
apartment like that.
Yeah, you did. And so I was just like, but it's not like I'm gonna be like, yeah, I can't sleep. It's like, yeah, let's see what happens. And it was tough, but you end up putting up barriers, energetic barriers, so that you can minimize what happens. You're always in control. That's the thing that you should always remember on any sort of paranormal investigation. You are always in control. And so that's what I did, and it wasn't so bad. But there's a lot of people walking up and down the hallway that night, which was really annoying, only to find out that I was the only person on that floor.
Oh, wow, that's neat.
It was called the Karsten. That's the name of it, the Karsten.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was really cool. And so that's the sort of thing I absolutely love. I love that. And I feel like that I just haven't really had that opportunity in a while. So hopefully it will soon. Candy says Alcatraz. Well, you're going to be visiting inmates now if you go out there. I don't know if I really care to go out to Alcatraz. Some of that energy is really pretty dour. I mean, rightly so. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I was at the Ohio State Reformatory, and that was a lot.
Now, do you think Alcatraz is charged the way it is because it's literally out there in the middle of the ocean, and you have all that energy? Okay.
Totally. And I also feel like that the stuff that's happened there when the inmates were there, like just how they acted and stuff, I bet the water helped that as well.
Oh, for sure.
Folks, if you have the opportunity, go through my backlog, and I did an episode with one of the descendants of one of the guys who actually was one of the only people to break out of Alcatraz, and he wrote a book about it, and he wrote about how they actually were successful, because no one knows if they're successful, and he's like, no, they were, and he has proof. So if you check out that episode, that was great. That was, I mean, that's worth listening to for sure. Let's see here. So if you could spend the night in a haunted location you've never been to before, where would it be? Let's see here. Tracy says Villisca Axe Murder House. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, it's amazing how Villisca is very haunted for some people, and to other people it's non-existent. The haunting is non-existent. Like the first time I went, it was horrible, and I've talked about it before, and I have some incredible spirit box responses. The second time, it was just a regular house, basically, you know.
Now, I know a lot of people say that it's the individual who committed the murders who's there. And I've always kind of wondered if, because like you've said, some people there's like it's off the hook. Other people, you could feel like you could live there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you think that whomever is haunting that comes and goes?
Or
does it kind of depend on the energy that's brought into the house with the intent?
My theory has always been, I've always called Villisca the STD of the paranormal, where people come in and they conjure and then they leave and they don't clean up their mess. And I personally believe, even though there's a lot of people like, oh, when I go there, the children talk to me, or when I go there, I've talked to the axe murder and stuff like that. I think all of those spirits are long gone. And what you are left with is stuff of people who have done some kind of nasty things in there, and that's what's left behind. I think there's something very inhuman in that place. And I'm not saying maybe the kids are still there, but I just don't. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, every time I go there, I talk to the kids and stuff. Now, granted, there's people like Shar who's had EVPs that are very much in sync with what the story of Villisca is that night. But I also think that that's almost a riff, if you will, on that stone tape theory, that those EVPs are like recordings from that night.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so fascinating to me. It truly is like, whoa, this is a different level right here. This is incredible. Sad.
Yeah,
incredible.
That is sad, especially if you're talking about, if the kids are still there and if people have gone in and conjured in some inhuman. I just feel horrible for the real souls that are still in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not I mean, I'm not saying, when I say it's not a good place, I don't mean like you shouldn't go. It's really just a very sad location in terms of what's happened and what's left behind there, for sure. Let's see. Jennifer says, I'm not sure if it is haunted, but it is on the creepy list. But I want to go to the Sedlik ossuary, also known as Bone Church in the Czech Republic. Have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
No, nor have I, because I probably butchered the name. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of cool to go to the creepy places as well.
It can be, as long as I'm with, people I trust more than anything else.
Yeah, no, you got to be careful for sure. And just make sure that you are in a safe place and you know how to take care of yourself energetically. It's really all that comes down to. And yeah, it's there's a lot of those places, and it's amazing. Some of these places are not even, quote unquote creepy, but there's stuff going on there, energy there that you just know. If you walk into a place and it could be, it could be a hallway of a new building, pay attention to what your gut's telling you, because it's we always say that's your best, not necessarily your gut, but it's your best piece of paranormal equipment is your body and what you're feeling and whatnot. So absolutely, we have a lot more answers to go through, and I want to get through them. But what I want to do is take a break, come back. We're going to continue question of the week. And don't forget, it is Casual Friday. So anything in your mind, put it in the comments or give us a call, 952-946-6205. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Des Moines Con returns to the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall May 30th through June 1st. Des Moines Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Des Moines Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, also from Daredevil, Full Metal Jacket, Law & Order, Saturday Only, plus other great guests from voice actors to authors over the entire weekend. 3 days of action-packed fun at the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets start at $60. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at DesMoinesCon.com. And don't forget, Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo and Twin Cities Con are coming up this year too. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to nerdstreetusa.com for more information.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
It is Casual Friday, and boy, I'm just really looking forward to the weekend. Like I said, we have the Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair with Maria Shaw's Minnesota Convention. That is going to be tomorrow, and very excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to also be at Des Moines Con coming up here very soon, in less than 2 weeks. That is going to be in Des Moines, first of all. Right, imagine that. And I'm actually gonna be presenting out there, and I'm really excited about that. We'll give you more information about that as we're getting closer. I also before I forget, because I want to make sure I get this in as well, we're going to talk about this more, but once again, we are going to be I'm going to be in Baraboo, June 6th through 8th. Ecto Cruz will be putting on Take the Boo out of Baraboo, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to post information about that on GhostBox Radio on Facebook, as well as my own pages, and it's not too far from here, so you should come on out and come visit, and I think you're going to have a great time. And if I can get them on before the event for a segment or so, they can come on and talk about the event. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun, we're going to have a gentleman on who had worked for the government, and he says that he back in the day did remote viewing to bases on Mars, and we're going to talk about that. And he's done a lot of things that no one's ever heard of before. We're going to talk through that, and probably have him on a few times. It's going to be interesting. I think I'm really looking forward to what he has to say. Tuesday, we have Sandra Nimi on. She is the author of Glamour Ghoul, the book about Vampira. And if you don't remember who Vampira is, Vampira was very well known for being on Plan 9 from Outer Space. She was fictionalized by Lisa Marie in the film Ed Wood. Wednesday, we get the return of Psychic Medium Refined Divine. She is doing one-question readings, which she hasn't been on in a while, so I'm super, super excited to have her back. Thursday, we're going to do a replay of an episode that we did back in October called What's in the Woods. That's a Just Greg episode. And then Friday, we're actually going to do a replay for Casual Friday, because we're going to be closed that day. So, but still listen, because there's some great content coming up this week. And I'm kind of want to check out what that What's in the Woods episode. I don't quite remember. I think I know what it is, but I don't quite remember it. And it sounds really cool, though, whatever it is. I was like, hey, I think that sounds really cool. I might listen myself.
You've
So
done
yeah,
so many you can't remember which ones you've titled.
that's the funny thing is like there's a lot. Sometimes I'll run across stuff and I'll be like, oh, we had that person on. Well, why aren't we playing this more? You know,
But
that
that
sort
is
of
such
thing.
a good problem to have.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
a wonderful problem to have, and it just shows the longevity you've had in this field, bringing the paranormal to the masses and creating a space where people can feel safe to talk about their encounters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Question of the week. If you could spend the night in any haunted location that you've never been before, where would it be? And folks had been putting a lot of answers. Uh, let's see. Carrie says the Jerome Grand Hotel in Jerome, Arizona. It used to be a copper mining company hospital from 1926 to 1950, then sat abandoned until 1994 when it was remodeled as a hotel. It's very haunted with lots of activity there. And I've not been to Jerome, Arizona. I've been to Bisbee, Arizona, and another copper town, and stayed at a great hotel, Copper Queen, very haunted as well as going and being in Tombstone. So yes, some great areas down there. It's a different type of haunting down there for sure. Now Tyler, yeah, it sounds like Tyler might be your type of guy, Adam. Tyler says, I'm a ghost hunter and a big WWE fan. I'm going to say the famous Hart House in Calgary, Alberta. It is confirmed haunted, and the Kemper area in Kansas City, Missouri. It is haunted by WWE superstar Owen Hart. The ghost of Owen Hart has been seen up in the rafters wearing the blue blazer outfit. Staff that work at the Kemper Arena have seen the ghost of Owen Hart up in the rafters. He has also been pacing the floor. We now go to our special WWE correspondent, Adam. What do you think? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, in 1999, Owen Hart, portraying the Blue Blazer, was supposed to come down from the rafters to the ring. At some point at the very beginning of his descent during the show, the cord snaps and he falls like 60 feet and hits his head on the ring post and lands in the ring and dies in the ring in front of a sold out arena.
Wow, that's traumatic.
And it was on a pay-per-view too. So what they did was cut to commentators, Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross, and they basically talked through 25 minutes of emergency personnel coming down to the ring, getting Owen, taking him out of the ring, and Owen essentially was pronounced dead on the scene.
And not showing the actual footage, right?
No, there is footage out there that was leaked, and you can see him hit, but for what the majority of everyone saw on the US pay-per-views, it cut straight to JR and King.
How horrible. Gosh.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's really traumatic. Oh my gosh. And the commentators trying to keep it together themselves, I'm sure was really hard.
Yeah, they did their best to do so, but you could hear during the commentary, they start to crack up, break a little bit.
Yeah.
They both knew what was going on, but trying to save face while on air. Be like, yeah, he's injured. We're gonna get, the Intercontinental title match will not happen, and then they just start talking about other matches and things like that to kill the time.
Amazing.
And then the Hart Dungeon. Yeah, I've heard stories that Stu Hart haunts the Hart Dungeon up in Calgary. And there's a few other professional wrestlers who passed away who are also said to be at the Hart Dungeon in Calgary. Some people even have reported seeing Chris Benoit there. And he was a wrestler who back in like 2008, I think it was, killed his wife and child.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. A couple had said the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, which I have surprisingly have not been to that. And I wouldn't mind checking it out. Christy says the Appalachian Mountains. I want to hear the whistles and screams. Hell yeah. I'd be all about that. Absolutely.
Those are real.
Yeah. No,
absolutely real.
and I've been around there. I just never been in there. Let's see here. Chris says it would be the Queen Mary for me. Queen Mary is quite the location. Quite. We were talking to Philip Anthony about that on Monday, but I've investigated in there, and it is everything that you see on the TVs and the shows and stuff. And you had shown Philip that video that Brandon Elvis took of in night vision, kind of looking around one of the hallways of the Queen Mary, and there's and you blink and you miss it, but then they slowed it down. Looked like a little girl in one of the rooms in the open doorway.
And Philip's reaction was fantastic when we showed him that.
Yeah, no, it's that stuff amazing. Queen Mary is truly an amazing location, just fantastic. We just need to grow this show a little bit more, and we can probably get our own event out there. That would be a lot of fun. Let's see. Michael says Blickling Hall in Norfolk, which is an absolutely beautiful house that has captivated me since childhood. Said to be built on the manor house Anne Boleyn spent a brief childhood. Her dad had a property in Norwich, one still standing. Ghost stories attached, my favorite being on the anniversary of her execution, Henry VIII's father-in-law rides a spectral carriage over a certain number of local bridges. You know, that goes back to the whole United Kingdom paranormal stuff. I mean, anything, right?
And the Anne Boleyn story is very, very sad to begin with, too.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that being a hot spot if all those legends are true.
Let's see. Mike says Waverly Hills, which, yep, I haven't got to either. Which I've been to the gates, and that's as far as I've gone. Let's see here. Kim says the Stanley Hotel. Jolene says, if I could spend the night in any haunted location, I'd choose the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. The Stanley, most famously known for inspiring Stephen King's novel The Shining, has a rich history of paranormal activity. Guests and staff have reported numerous ghost sightings, unexplained noises, and inexplicable events. I love how Jolene is explaining it to us like we've never heard of the Stanley before, and I love that. It's like, no, I've heard of it. We've all heard of it, but she did a great job of really summarizing it. I like that. Let's see. Jeremy says St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Yes.
Yep. James says, considering what we went through last weekend, it would be nice if we could have spent the evening at the Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I've been there. I've done numerous investigations there. It's pretty cool. My gosh, we even got TJ Lubinsky. He actually, if you ever watch any of those not paranormal, PBS programs that are called My Music, and it's all like rolling out these acts from the 1950s and 60s, and you're just like, oh, but still, you know, they're big money for PBS station. He's created those.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Him and I are big Doctor Who fans. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. He's mammoth Doctor Who fan. So I mean, it's just no. And you know the series Dark Shadows?
Yes.
So it all takes place in a place called Collinwood. It's just like a castle, you know, it's just a beautiful house. He's such a big he doesn't live there anymore, but he was such a big fan of Dark Shadows that he built I don't know if he built it or found a house that was basically a replica of that house.
Oh, nice.
And he lived in that. So yeah, there's that. He says Seaview Terrace, also known as Carey Mansion in Newport, Rhode Island.
I've never heard of that one.
I've never heard of that either. But I would love to anywhere Rhode Island sounds like a pretty good place to do some sort of investigating. That's for sure. It sounds amazing.
I would love to hit that upper East Coast.
Yes.
Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I think there's a lot of hidden gems in there that a lot of folks don't know about.
No, we did a number of stuff when we were up there, and then a number of stuff when I was in Gettysburg. That's just the surface, you know. Kim says Tower of London. Yeah,
it would be interesting. Tower of London would be really, really interesting.
Same with even like, and this will never happen, you know, Buckingham Palace.
That was the first thing that popped in mind. That and the Vatican too. No one's getting it.
Yeah, the Vatican or the White House, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, no one's getting in those locations.
No, and all of those must just be, and we asked Father Bob when he was on any stories of, papal ghosts or anything, and he's like, not that anyone's ever told, which I thought was a fun answer. It's like, yeah, could be.
That's
though.
a nice way of saying I plead the fifth on this.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah, that's fantastic, and I love it. I'd love to go to all those with everybody and have a lot of fun. And yeah, maybe someday we'll get more. We're trying to get some more events together as well. So it's a little bit slower than we'd like it to be, but we're trying to get some stuff together. And then Jill says, breaking news from Jill. She just said in the comments, I'd love to visit Suicide Forest. She has another forest that I'm not going to try to say because I'm not in the mood to massacre the names of stuff, but both in Japan. So I saw you looking. Are you going to have a go at it?
No, I was going to try, but yeah, the Suicide Forest, there was an old show called Destination Truth that captured a apparition in the Suicide Woods. It's probably the best piece of TV footage of an apparition I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, as we're winding up, I do want to remind folks once again, tomorrow over at the Doubletree by Hilton, Minneapolis Airport, starting at 9 a.m., going till 5 p.m. is the Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair, Maria Shaw's Bloomington Convention. This is always a great time. Come on out. I will be kicking things off at 9:15 with the meet and greet with practitioners. There is going to be a lot of stuff happening, a lot of great practitioners out there, let alone Maria Shaw, who's going to do the crossover gallery, which is truly about as powerful as you can get when you do these sort of things. These are a lot of fun. If you want more information, go to charvinityfairs.com. You can also find it on Facebook as well. We're wrapping up the week here. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you enjoyed GhostBox Radio this week. Next week, we have a lot of great programs as well. Adam, as always, thank you very much. Really appreciate everything as usual.
Thank you.
Everyone, just stay safe and come back Monday. We're going to talk about remote viewing to bases on Mars.
Hi, Matt McNeil here.